Cool. And Carrie, you were talking about indexing, which is kind of what we're going to be looking at today is, how do we get found online and compete against some of these giants, like Zillow, TRULIA, and some of the other large website aggregators online. It may look a little looming to really do that, but the reality is it's not as hard as you think. And with that said, it's not just going to happen on its own. So we're really going to look at, the context for, how do we get found online and how do we go about that? So that's what we're going to get into. It's a smaller group, so I encourage you, if you have questions, please ask. Normally in a larger group, I'm going to mute everyone just because there's a lot of background noise. So let's get started. So I think I know everybody who's on the call. So again, if you're at the How to Beat Zillow and TRULIA online, you're in the right spot. Just a little bit about me. I'm married. I used to be in real estate. I did very well. I was at Realty Executives for 11 years, I think, or 10 years. I can't even remember anymore. Back in the 80s and 90s. So, a lot of the things that I learned then still hold true today. We just go about it in a little bit different way. I think I was the first person in Realty Executives to have a computer. That was 1989 or 1990. It had an orange screen. And I will tell you, I got teased mercilessly. I think I was about 23 years old. And I remember I had it in my arms, walked through the front door, and there's one of the older agents sitting there kind of chuckling, "What are you going to do with that?" And over the next 2 years, I actually built a database, and I used to mail postcards. Now, the world was flat, and everyone told you were supposed to mail letters because that's how it was done. So really, I invite you to really look at, how you do your business, and are there ways you can really go out and swing out, maybe get out of your comfort zone, because that's where, breakthroughs occur. It's not in what everybody else is doing, and it's what everybody else is not doing. So at that time in history, nobody was really doing database marketing. I used to drive around in my car because there was no go to the title company and get the disk of addresses. That didn't exist. So I used to drive around in my car and I'd write down addresses, and it took me about 3 months to get all of North Scottsdale, 85258, 5960. Some of McCormick Ranch, I can't even remember anymore. And I had about 7,000 or 8,000 addresses, and it took me that long. And I just started mailing, and I got results, which was great because at the time I don't think I could have led a silent prayer. Knocking on doors wasn't going to happen. I think I would have evaporated if anybody actually opened the door if I was doing that. But the point was I used technology in a way that I could leverage myself. Web technology, when I look at what's available to agents now, I think my head starts to come off because it's cheaper, and B, it's a lot more effective to connect with your sphere of influence. And make yourself known in an area. Back when I was an agent, you had to spend a lot of money on advertising to get known in an area. I don't know that you have to do that necessarily anymore. It doesn't hurt, but there's ways that you can go about, making yourself known in an area or neighborhood without having to do that. So, I got this actually a while ago, but I get emails like this all the time. How would you like to promote? Okay, would you like to promote your website? We'll bring you first page on Google within 3 to 4 months on my favorite keywords. That sounds pretty good, right? What are my favorite keywords? Well, they're probably the ones that get the most traffic online. Not going to happen. It's a nice way for someone to try to part with getting some of my money out of my hands. Nothing's going to happen. The reality is, at the end of the day, nobody's going to market your business in your niche better than you can. And we're going to really look at how that happens. So I think I read something once. The average real estate agent website has 30 pages of content, and Zillow has millions of pages. So when you look at how are you really going to compete against that? Well, at that level, you're not. So how do you do that? Why you're not winning the game online is because you're not getting enough traffic. You don't have enough content. 30 pages of content is not going to do it. Now, it's fine for using it as a brochure, something for your clients to look at. That's great, but 30 pages of content probably isn't going to get it happen. Google's really looking at websites that are consistently putting new content, content that's actually of value, not junk content, not spun content, not something that was written overseas by someone that can barely, doesn't have a command of the English language. That stuff, Google is pretty good at sniffing out now, and actually your site can be downgraded and sent less traffic. So you really want to pay attention to, putting out quality content online. When I read a magazine, I want to see good stuff. I don't want to see bad stuff. That's just, people are people, and we're not going to stick around for something that doesn't capture our interest or bring any value to our lives. Some of the things we want to look at, just in general, some things to understand are, I see a lot of agents, they have websites that they spend a lot of time working on, but they never really had a chance to get found in search engines just because of the way they're set up. Does that mean they're bad? No, it just means it is what it is. And if you don't know that you shouldn't wear basketball shoes in a marathon, that might be a problem around mile 7 or 8. So we're going to just briefly take a look at what's important on a website. So let's take a look at a website that, the style of website I see a lot. I don't necessarily want to pick on superlative, but we're going to, just from the standpoint of structure. There's nothing wrong with these websites. They're nice looking websites. They're just not necessarily designed for being found online. It takes a lot more effort, for that to make that happen. So, what some of the things that I look at, quickly on a website are, I call it the permalink structure. And that is this in the address bar. That's, Google actually looks at that to figure out what your page is about. So if Google was to come by and look at what's in this address bar, what are they going to do with that? Not much, because there's really not much that tells me what this page is about. Now, when I'm actually here, I can see what it's about. I can see the agent's properties, and that's great. But this isn't necessarily going to get you found in the search engines. A little bit better here, but there's just a lot of extra code, which will make, again, Google doesn't want to work that hard, and we're making Google work a little bit harder to find that. So, when I look at my little test website, when I go into my blog, I can see there's no extra junk code. We call this a pretty permalink. It's exactly what Google needs to see, and there's no extra code. So it just makes the life of a robot or a search engine robot, just makes it easier to figure out what is this about. Even when I click into the properties, I just have address versus a lot of extra stuff. So, just some things to look at. Does your website really have a shot at being found in the search engines? You want to make sure that you are, if the answer is yes, I do want to make sure I'm being found in the search engines, we do want to have pretty permalinks. And the next thing really is, when you're writing content, what the two next things that are important are your title and the actual content of the website. In that case, we'd be talking about, let's just click back here. So, for example, we've got the title of this post is 3-bedroom homes for sale in Arcadia. I mean, that's, I think, a fairly reasonable search somebody online might be looking for a 3-bedroom home in Arcadia. That's how people look for things. So, we have a title that is consistent with real life about what somebody might be looking for. We've stayed away from, 3-bedroom, gorgeous, fantastic homes in Arcadia that are for sale. We don't need the sensational headlines because people don't really look like that. I know I don't when I'm looking for things. And content is that would be what we don't have a lot of content necessarily on this post, but that's really what you're going to be writing about for your article. I could probably go on and continue here talking about schools or shopping, or we're near the Phoenician, or we're near Scottsdale, the fashion mall, and it's close to golfing. Just really giving ourselves an opportunity to come up for searches. People may be looking for other things that are related to the area, and you want them to be going to your website. So anyway, I'm going to just take a little break here. Anybody have any questions? Vic, Carol? Hopefully everyone's still there. Okay. Let's see. Carol Moore. The page count on my site only shows the basic 100. The page count on my site shows the basic count. Yeah, we might. We'll look at that later. All right. Okay, so let's go back to my outline. So we talked about no traffic to your website, improper site structure. We took a look at that. No content or little or no change to your website. So, the set it and forget it model of websites, you get your website set up and then you never touch it again. That's probably not going to bring you traffic. You really do need to have new content going into your website. Google is looking for authoritative websites, and that's typically going to be sites that are updated on an ongoing basis. Also, no traffic can be a lack of marketing. Doing video, social media, paid search, those are all things that can bring you traffic as well. My opinion about what to do, that just depends on, what you want to get. Maybe social media is enough, and maybe just, doing video, trying to get rankings, may be what there is to do. Video is something at my company, we don't do video, but I do recommend agents really investigate doing video. It's highly indexable in Google, which means you can get found for things a lot easier. And also agents, they're not doing it, which kind of blows my mind. It's an awesome tool. So let's keep moving on. Again, your site is losing because of page titles, sensational headlines. Don't do those. Ugly permalinks. And you're not, common keyword in the title. I'll see agents, they'll be talking about, homes for sale in Scottsdale, and in their titles, they've got Phoenix and Tempe, Chandler. They're talking about, everything in a particular piece of content, where when you're making content, you need to be very specific. The easier you make it for Google to know what your page is about, the more likely you are to get found. Now, if you've got all kinds of, we're talking about Gilbert and Chandler and Tempe and Phoenix all in one piece of content, it's very confusing to figure out what that post is about. So you want to be very specific. Here we go. Oh, I've got a little graphic here. Yay. All right. So why does Zillow get lots of traffic? That's the question. And the answer is they have a lot of content. It really is not rocket science. So if it's interesting, if I go into Google and just Google my own address, what comes up? Zillow. My house isn't even for sale. Why do they do that? Because at some point this house will go on the market and they will make money for it. They're already indexing for this address even before it's for sale. It's actually very smart because they're going to get the rankings for this when the time comes. Now, as a test, what I did do is on my little test website, applyandfly.com, just to see what would happen, I did my own address, 9847 East Redfield Road. Test, just to see if it would come up, and it did. So that just shows you the power of a good title, kind of going back to what we talked about before. Be specific. If you're selling a house, do a post on your blog just with the address, because you want to be able to come up in these searches. And let's just see if I can get this. I had somebody at a class, they wanted to do a post on horse properties for sale. I think it was this one. There it is. Horse properties for sale, 85260. What happened is I made a post on my website because I was at a class and somebody said do a post on horse properties for sale on 85260. So that shows up on my little test website in the search rankings. What also showed up was a video I did a couple years ago. It's still in the search engines. So again, video, written content, it's all good. I'd probably even say I'm going to click on the video result first, just because I like videos and it's a little more visually appealing than the rest of these search results. So that's another cool thing about video that I like when I'm doing my search engine marketing. So I'm just going to see if there's any questions. Nope. Okay. All right, let's go back to our keynote. What we don't need to do anymore to get rankings, we've all seen these kind of articles, how to get your home ready to sell in 30 days, what you need to do to get your mortgage started, all that kind of art. Don't need to write that anymore. It's very time consuming. You write an article like this, it's going to take you an hour, hour and a half. Not a great use of time. I don't know that consumers are really looking for this stuff, and there's tons of this stuff out there that's ranked. From what I've seen in my years of looking at search results from hundreds of real estate agent websites, consumers, they're looking for three things. They're looking for addresses. Why do you think you Google your own house, it'll show up with the Zillow search. So you can do posts on addresses. Zip codes and subdivisions. Those seem to be the three biggest things to make content on, or what people are actually looking for online. Very easy to do, and we're going to do a little demo in a little bit about how to get that done in a very time-efficient manner using a WordPress website and your IDX. So how do we accomplish a concise and a targeted online marketing campaign? Well, we need to go for the niches. So for example, horse property for sale in 85260. 3-bedroom homes on the golf course for sale in 85255. Cul-de-sac homes for sale in Scottsdale Ranch. Guard gate homes for sale in DC Ranch. 3-bedroom homes for sale in 85254. And your clients will tell you what to make your searches on. Because if they're looking for it, somebody else probably is too. So when you make that content, it's like a billboard that stays up forever. So you only have to make it one time. So how to win? You have to create content often. I would make video. I would go hyper local, really focus in on addresses, zip codes, and subdivisions in your content. Leverage content. The more content that you have, the more traffic that you're going to get. That just makes sense. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. I do want to talk a little bit about video in your business. Again, we're not a video company, but we are committed to agents being successful, and video is part of a balanced diet in today's real estate business. I feel very strongly about that. I've seen people totally transform their businesses using video content marketing, as well as content marketing. So the reality is video is indexable in Google. You're 50 times more likely to be found on the first page of Google with video than text. Does that mean stop doing text content? No, absolutely not. One of the pitfalls of video is awesome, and one of the pitfalls is it can be very time consuming and take a lot of expertise versus I can sit down on my laptop and write content very quickly for what I need to get done and serve my client. And video can be very effective for your listing presentations, getting found online, awesome for social media, like that. So video results, again, cool. One of the things I like about it, they show up in the Google search results. Here's an address search. And this is a video I did for one of my clients years ago, and he showed up #1 for this particular search. So video your listings, again, great way to get found online as well. It's just a really nice thing to
Hi, I'm Sean Hahn with West USA Realty, and I want to show you 1030 West Spur Drive. We're up in North Phoenix. Gorgeous house, 5-bedroom, 4-bath, with a den and a loft. It's absolutely stunning. Let's go look at it.
So Sean started content marketing and video marketing about 2.5 years ago. His business went from 8 million to 15 million just by adding this to his business. Feel free to call him. He'll be more than happy to talk to you about how he's, really how he's worked that into his business. But every listing, he's doing content and video, and it's part of his listing presentation. I don't know that he loses too many listings anymore. Not that he ever did, but now he seems to get all of them. And that's how your business doubles, because the stuff he wasn't getting, he's now getting. 2 things that'll keep you from doing video. You think you look bad on video, and you think you sound terrible. And I would say it's probably time to get over it. So by not getting over it, it's costing you money. As long as you need her to be. You can make videos right at your computer. So it's not necessarily about you being on, in front of a camera. You can actually be making quality content just right off your computer screen. So what does that look like? Well, for the business that I Found Agent, I'm often making tutorials. That I'll send out to clients. So let's see. So here's a video I did on how to use the IDX to create social media content. And the video is just of me talking about what's going on my computer screen, so I can show this to
In this I Found Agent tutorial, we're going to look at how to use your IDX to create content for social media, or what I also call real estate curiosities. Having been in the real estate business, I know people are always curious about real estate, different kinds of real estate.
So how am I doing that? I'm actually recording this webinar using a program on my Mac called ScreenFlow. You can do that on, let's see, where's it? Keynote. You can do, there's a free version of screencast-omatic.com, which runs in the browser. You can make a screencast video just right on your computer that way. For PC, I like Camtasia Studio. I used to use that for years. Very easy to do. You could even just watch a YouTube video to learn how to use it, and you'll you'll be good to go. I do recommend, if you're doing video, that you want to have a good mic. I don't think this is necessarily going to normally at a live seminar you'd be able to hear this, but
okay, this is a test.
I recommend using an external mic versus just the microphone that's built into your computer, because good audio definitely helps keep people in. And when I hear really bad audio, I usually don't want to watch something. So any questions at this point from anyone? Nope. All right. So something I do this class live is a little tough to do on a webinar. It's to make a video with an iPhone or your cell phone. And again, if you're just getting started with video, usually what's in your hand these days is pretty good. So I do want to put a caveat: if you are going to make a video with your cell phone, please get a tripod and a fluid head tripod to put your phone on, because the videos will come out absolutely horrible and nobody will want to watch them. So here's a little demo, just one I did on my iPhone a little while ago. And I did all the editing on the iPhone as well. So if you're interested, let me know. I've got a 30-minute video on how to do that, and I'd be happy to share it with you. All right, so I don't have time to work on my website. Does that sound familiar? Yep. So simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple, but it's worth it in the end once you get there. You may move mountains, or you can move mountains. That's a quote by Steve Jobs, which it's one that's always stuck with me. And we're going to do a demo with the GetFound IDX on how to create content in the niches, so you can go compete against some of those big aggregators. Now the reality is, Zillow is pretty good at getting ranked for addresses. Where they're pretty bad is everything else. So they don't do great on zip code searches or subdivision searches, or when you really start to drill into a more narrow search or focused search, like if a client really has to have a specific style of house, maybe a 4-bedroom guard-gated home in Scottsdale Ranch. When you start getting into that, that's where they really have a problem. So. And one of the things I learned, my mom was a realtor. She always said a small percentage of a large number is a large number. You don't need a lot. You don't necessarily need a huge increase in leads to make a huge increase in your, in your bottom line. So let's do a post. So what we want to think about is a title. I usually say 200 words about your topic, using our custom IDX tool, and, be very specific. The more broad you are, the lower your chances are for being found online. Use photos, and if you have a video, embed that into the post as well. Just helps to keep people sticky and keep them on your website. So let's go into let's see. All right, so let's go into my little test site, and there's the test site. So let's go to posts. Now I'm in WordPress. Now this strategy will work in WordPress whether you use our IDX or not, but you'll see one of the benefits of using our IDX is it just dramatically and exponentially increases the amount of content that you can generate. So does anybody have someone tell me about a buyer they're working with? Vic or Carol? And you guys have a buyer that you're currently working with? Maybe tell me about the kind of house they're looking for. Panoramic view. Where are they looking for the property? Oh, Prescott. Yeah, I don't have the Prescott. I only have the Phoenix one. Yeah, I don't on my demo, I just have Phoenix. Let's just make one up real quick. Let's just do, when I was an agent, I used to do a lot of sales in Sweetwater Ranch. So let's just say 4-bedroom homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch. Now, Carol, this will work for Prescott as well. So it could be 4-bedroom homes for sale in Prescott Lakes. I don't know the subdivisions up there that well. But, just kind of map on what I'm doing right now for, the market up there. And again, this is what I'd be doing. So now what I'm going to do is, so I've got my title. It's very specific. And I would come down here into what we call the WYSIWYG editor, which just stands for what you see is what you get, because however you type it into here, that's what you're going to get. So I can say 4-bedroom homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch. Sweetwater Ranch is close to the new fire station and Cheyenne Elementary School. Now I'm putting Cheyenne Elementary School in here. I want to mention A, it is right next to Sweetwater Ranch, but B, might have somebody that wants to have their kids, their kids need to go to Cheyenne Elementary School. So I want that in there. Now I keep going to about, like I said, maybe 150 words, 200 words, and that's probably enough. And then I'm going to click on our profound search shortcode generator. Now I do want to back up. If you're not an iFound agent client, this strategy right here will give you a lot of mileage because it's a very specific post and it is content. It's one page of content versus, I'm actually not sure how many we'll get out of this post, but let's find out. So I'm going to click on our shortcode generator, and I could draw it on a map, although I don't know the exact boundaries of Sweetwater Ranch. So, if I did have a client that says I need to leave between this freeway, this area, I can draw that out here, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to do subdivision. We're going to do Sweetwater Ranch. And I know there's Sweetwater Ranch, Foothills Estates, the Manor. So I'm going to do wildcard because I want to make sure I get all of those. And we want 4 bedrooms. So I'm going to do 3.9 to 4.1 just so I get them all. And I think that's, I think I got them all. So I'm going to insert that into my shortcode here, or the shortcode in. Again, I didn't have to know any coding, that it did it for me. So we're going to do, put that into Scottsdale Communities category. I'm going to publish it. And let's go back to the blog on my test post. And I see 4-bedroom homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch. So let's see what we got. And I've got 6. So I got not much for sale in there right now. However, what I did get was I got a landing page, plus I got 6 additional pages of content out of the IDX tool. Now that's a great way I can leverage my time. But that's how I'm going to go after competing against some of the aggregators, because the more traffic I have, the more, or the more content I have, the more traffic I'm going to get. Each one of these is if I click on the property, it's its own page with its own unique URL. Okay. So let's go back and let's do that again. Again, if I'm, this was my old stomping ground. I want to add another. Layer to this. Why don't we just do all homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch? I'm going to skip the content here. Let's just go straight to the shortcode generator. And let's come down to Sweetwater Ranch. Let's do wildcard. I'm not going to put any bedrooms on it. I am going to put Scottsdale. I don't know if there's other Sweetwater Ranches around town. So let's just do Scottsdale. Let's do Scottsdale Communities. Let's publish it. And now let's go back to news. And now I created homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch. So there should be more. There's 18 because we didn't limit it by anything. So now there's all the homes that are for sale in Sweetwater Ranch. Now what I can do is take this and I can actually now put this in Facebook. And post it. I can also right from the WYSIWYG, there's a little envelope. From here, I can click on the envelope, and it's actually going to pop up from my mail program. It's got the link with the homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch, plus a little note, which I can customize if I want, but automatically I don't have to copy paste anything. I can just send it out straight to my client. Whoop. There we go. And let's see. Questions? It's got to be at least one. Let's see, Carol, what is the difference between wildcard and like? Wildcard just means that if it has any, wildcard just means it has to meet one of the criteria. So, if it has Sweetwater Ranch Foothills or Sweetwater Ranch Manor, if it has anything Sweetwater Ranch in it, it'll pull it in. So like means, if I have, that would be if I'm doing like features. So if I needed to have, a heated pool, a diving pool that's heated with a diving board, and it had to meet all of those three criteria, not just one of them. So if a house just had a pool and a diving board but wasn't heated, if I had like checked, it wouldn't show up. So if I need something that needs all those criteria met, then I have to click like. I don't know, does that make sense? Okay. Are all the categories for SEO or just for us? The categories are for SEO, and you create those. You can create those on the fly. So, Carol, you're gonna have stuff in Prescott. I can just come in here if I want to create a new category. It's very simple. Just click on Add a New Category. And I can I'm not going to add it, but I would just click Add New Category, and it'll add that for the next time I do that. So if I want to add new categories. All right, so let's see if I always seem to get off, seem to get off track here. Let's see, where am I? All right, the secret, there is none. You just have to create a lot of content. So it's really just a matter of mastering repetition. And one of the things I will say, I know I've got a couple I found clients on our webinar today, but one of the things we just launched yesterday is we have a new content subscription, which you basically give us a city and 20 subdivisions, and we'll create 5 unique posts a day. They'll be unique to you. Nobody else will have them. There's a little video on our website which talks about how it works. So I always love the Ronco guys, set it and forget it. So from this standpoint, you tell us what you want to be going on your website, and it'll go on autopilot. So it's 5 posts a day, which you can have automatically set to syndicate out to your social media automatically. So you don't even have to do anything. So it's $150 a month, 5 posts a day. That works out to $1 a post. That's a total bargain, and basically it's like having an assistant do that for you. You don't have enough hours in the day to do it. And I'm not saying just sign up for this and just leave it either. I think it's important to set up the searches. And what I mean by searches are these. Set up these searches for your clients, because the more of these you do as well, these all count towards your content count online. And it's also a great thing to get to your client, because you want to keep them off of the Zillows and off of the other websites and get them used to searching for things on your website. If you haven't noticed, we just completed our new advanced property search feature. Again, we want to keep your clients on your website, not on other clients' websites. So the advanced search tool is probably one of the best search tools I've seen on the market. Yes, I know I'm supposed to say that, but in two, it really is. I can draw a search on by a map where I want them, where I want the searches to be. So if I want to just draw out, just draw that out. I can draw out a search, price, and let's see, let's just do that. I can add criteria. It just works the same as like on the IDX. Search, and it's going to show me everything that's for sale in that area. It's 127, and anyway, you can keep your clients busy on your own website now. They can save this search, modify that search criteria. We can go back. Maybe I just want to see 4 bedrooms now. Let's go back and search again. We got less, but anyway, you can see how they can keep drilling down by features. I could probably go in and add a pool. I think you get the idea, though. The other thing that, if you're not aware of, your iFound Agent website operates like an app on your client's cell phone. What does that mean, or what does that look like? So, well, let's do some fancy technology. So I like using technology. So let's do I'm going to put my cell phone on the screen right now. So let's do, oh, there's Carrie's information. So your website, let's look at Sean Hahn's website. This is what your website will look like on your client's cell phone. They've got a really powerful search tool for looking for property. Again, get them looking at your brand, not somebody else's. That it's not going to make a difference for you. So I'm going to click search nearby. I'm sitting at 100th Street in Frank Lloyd Wright. So let's see what I get. I've got 139 properties right near me, and I am sitting about right, I'm over here. So anyway, pretty cool. They don't need to download an app to make this work, which there's a lot of people on limited data plans. When they're out running around, they're not going to download anything. So tell your clients to pull up your website on their cell phones, and they can use that when they're out, looking at properties. So let's turn this off. All right, let's turn that off. All right, so Carol had a question. Is there a way to know how many total pages that you've created with all your posts? Yes. So what you need to do is, let's go back to the last blog post that I created, homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch. And I can see that I created additional 18, there's 18 additional searches on this page, plus the landing page, so that's 19. And then I created the 4-bedroom home search for Sweetwater Ranch, which yielded 6 results, plus another landing page that's 7. So we got 19 plus 7 is 26 pages, and that took how long? Very quick. Some of the searches that you'll create will have hundreds of houses in it. Some of them may even have thousands. So don't get hung up on, oh, I got every post I create has to have 1,000 new searches on it. Sometimes the best ones are just the more focused ones. I always say the riches are in the niches anyway. So, but the key to this is it's just very simple to create the content. And I think we're just getting close to wrapping this up. So what does iFound Agent have to offer? We've got a fully integrated WordPress IDX website. We are a custom IDX vendor. The method that I just demonstrated is unique to us. We also have an integrated map search, which I just showed. We also create really cool maps, which let's do a quick demo on those. So we do maps a little bit differently. Just show you a quick example of Del Round's website up in North Scottsdale. He's got all the subdivision, well, not all, a lot of the bigger ones up in 85255 or North Scottsdale mapped out. So it just makes the search experience for the consumer, very unique and simple. And I'm in Greyhawk, and I can just see what's for sale in all the different subdivisions inside of Greyhawk very easily. So if I've fallen in love with the Coventry at Greyhawk, it just makes it really easy for me to see what's for sale, and I'll probably come back to that because it's very easy to find this than Googling and not getting what I want. So we do unlimited pages and posts. You can blog as much as you want. We've got a very robust hosting platform on Amazon, which really gives us a lot of power to host a lot of stuff. Most IDX companies, web hosts in general, they're going to limit how much you can put on your site. Integrated calls to action and lead capture. There's 12 distinct opportunities for a client or potential web surfer to engage on your website, either to see the house or schedule a showing or ask questions or register to look at more properties. And you can control how people can search on your site, whether you want them to have unlimited searches or they have to register first. You can control all that. And our monthly fee is definitely at the lowest in the industry for what you get. We offer a very robust and powerful package at $79 a month, which includes hosting. And now it's not the hosting you see for $2.99 on the internet. That's different than what we offer. We offer a managed WordPress hosting solution, which means we do all the updating, security. We're going to keep you out of trouble. Versus you can buy just plain hosting, but that doesn't. If your site goes down, that's on you, or you might have to get somebody to help you get it back up. Also includes the IDX feed. You don't have to buy an additional IDX subscription. I know there's some other subscriptions just on their own. They're $240 a year just for the data. And we do support. We're one of the few companies that actually support WordPress and do training. We've got a ton of training courses. We do one a week. We've got tons of stuff on the website for you to go look at. If you want to work at it in the middle of the night and you have questions, there's probably a video that can help you find what you need to do, or just learn how to learn how to use the system better. And it does take you sitting down and actually going through it. It's not just going to come to you magically. It's repetition. The more you do it, the easier it'll get. The quicker it'll get. So I think that's all I had for today. I do want to open up the floor to questions. Anything I didn't cover or burning like that. So feel free to take yourself off mute and speak up, and I'll be here as long as you need me. Well, no questions. So anyway, thanks guys for coming, and I want to thank Carrie Farley and Connie Nell from Driggs Title for helping put this event on. And stay tuned for the next one. You can, if you have any questions for me, I'll put my email on the screen here. It's in the chat log. If you have any questions, let me know. Or if you want to get the video to this, let me know as well. I'll be sending it out in about 24 hours. So I just wanted to say thanks again, and stay tuned for more additional tips and tutorials from iFoundAgent at ifoundagent.com. Thanks.